Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be talking about becoming a reader today. I recently, in the last few months, I don't remember what month, this past summer, I read my first ever book series, which it was the Summer I Turned Pretty series. I had never read a series before. I hadn't even read a book in more than a decade probably. For so long, like I have dyslexia, so for so long I just kind of thought, oh, I can't read that well. I can only read certain things. I can't read certain ways, stuff like that. And I feel like, yeah, obviously with dyslexia, some things can be a little more challenging sometimes, but I think it's almost more just in your head more so than you actually can or can't do something. And I think it's society too. I think, as a little girl, like growing up with dyslexia when I was still in public school, I think it got harder because people would make fun of me or think that I'm different or say things that just are so incredibly mean. And I was just always different in school. And when I look back at it now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish, well, one, maybe I never went to public school, but can't do anything about that now. But I wish I wouldn't have worried about it so much, because now at 22 years old, like, I don't care that I have dyslexia. Like, who cares? I realize that I'm smart. I know that I'm smart. And I proved myself otherwise that I sure can read. I am obsessed with these books so much. I read all three in about a week, maybe 6 days. The only reason it took me that long is because I wanted to just space it out and just let it last longer. And I finished the last episode or two, because I think I started reading it on one of the nights it came out and then waited until the next episode because I wanted to watch it first before I read it. I read it fast. I could have read it even faster if I didn't want to soak all of that time in. Now that I know what happens and everything and I've read it, I could just bust it out in 3 days. I could read a book a day. But I'm so proud of myself that I read those so fast, and I realized I really like reading. These books changed me for the better, honestly, and honestly made me realize I do love reading. I can do it, because I think as I've gotten older, I realize sometimes that I can do it, but also some of those trigger memories from as a child and being called certain words for being different, I think that can still be in the back of my mind. So I almost at the same time was like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I'm dyslexic. Which is so silly to think about. But also, when you had been made fun of by so many kids and been called names and looked at differently, I mean, that sticks with you. So these books honestly changed me, and I'm so glad that they did, that Jenny Han wrote those books so many years ago for me to read nowadays. I love the show so much, so that's why I read the books, because it's literally my favorite show. So I'm like, oh, let me give the books a try, and I'm literally so glad that I did. So glad. So I want to get more into reading. Now that you guys have kind of that backstory, I want to get more into reading. So I have 2 books right now. I need to get more books now and kind of add to my TBR, and I want to fill this shelf up right here behind me with books. So I have 5 Feet Apart. I've had it for a few years, just never read it. I think Rude 21 actually sent that to me. And then I have this Stranger Things Rebel Robin book. I had actually started reading this like a year or 2 ago, and only read like 30, 50 pages. And I started reading this the other day. I only got like 4 or 5 pages into it, but it's really confusing because for me, I don't think this is a dyslexic thing. I feel like this probably is like just a certain person thing. Maybe not all readers, but let me know if, do you guys, so for me, like it starts off almost like as a third person. It starts off with Stella, but it's not her or like Cole's character that are telling the story. It's like a different person telling her story. And so I'm super confused, and I feel like that's kind of hard because I'm like, if it's her story, I want to be in her brain. I want to know what she's thinking. I want to know everything. I don't want to know what someone else is saying that she's thinking. Because how do you know? How do you know that every single thing that she was thinking? So I'm kind of confused with it. So for me, I think I'm going to have to watch the movie first to get the characters in my mind, get their voices and their faces and everything in my mind, and see if I understand the movie, and then read the book to hopefully understand it better that way. And as far as the Rebel Robin, I know I read several pages, but I don't really remember, so I would have to read it again. I think I remember liking it. I think still a year or two ago, I just wasn't into it. I wasn't super confident with reading it. But like I said, even like I've gone back and forth over the last few years as I've gotten older with my dyslexia, like being confident about it, like not giving a poop. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want people to know that I have dyslexia. That's embarrassing. But honestly, since reading these books, like I don't care. I want to encourage people and for people to know that they can read no matter what they have, no matter anything. Doesn't matter if you're dyslexic, if you're a Spencer Reed and can read a page like that. Like, it doesn't matter. You can read, and as long as you enjoy it and you're having fun, just, you can do it. Honestly, I am literally so proud of myself. So I actually, the other day, I got Fable and Goodreads. I kind of like Fable more, but I set my goal for 30 books this year, which is amazing because going from 0 to 30, I've seen people like put like, oh, their book goal is like 200-300. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like go for it. But sheesh, that's crazy. But also I want you to know, no matter if it's 2 books or 50 or 300, whatever you're capable of doing and you know that you're capable of doing, just do it. As long as you start somewhere, that's what matters. So now I just need to think or find some more books to read. For me, I really like some biographies. I almost said documentaries. Biographies and like historical books are pretty fun for me, but I really do like these type of books. They're like, well, I've only read this series, so I think I would very much enjoy coming of age books and romance books. But before you suggest things, I do like the innocent type of books. I don't want to read like smutty, graphic books. I like the innocence of it. So if you have any The Summer I Turned Pretty type books to suggest to me, please do. Or like those kind of cute, hallmarky type of vibe romances that are innocent. I like that because for like my mom, she's obsessed with the after books so much. Yeah, not for me. Because I know that there's a lot in it, and she's told me like, yeah, these books wouldn't be for you. You wouldn't be okay with you wouldn't like them. It would be too much for you. So if you have any suggestions for me of romance books, but kind ones, please suggest them down in the comments. I would very, very, very much appreciate it. I have looked around at several different books. I also want to read To All the Boys series, and especially since it's Jenny, and I love the To All the Boys movies. I love The Summer I Turned Pretty. I enjoyed XO Kitty. I just think I'm a Jenny Han girl. Jenny Han, if you need another character in one of your movies or shows, here I am. So I really want to read that series. I found a few other books on Amazon that I think I'm going to order and try out. I think one is called My Life in London, I believe. I can't remember the author's name. I know it's a girl, and it's like about a daughter that was abandoned, so it was just her and her father, and then her mom like ran away to England, and then the daughter found out years later that her mom passed away. And I don't know, I read like the little descriptive thing on Amazon, and it sounded really good. So then the girl like went to London and is uncovering secrets of her mom's, I don't know. It sounds really good, so I think I'm gonna give that a try as well. But other than that, I don't really know about too many books, and especially innocent books. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. I am just so happy to start reading this year. Like I said, my goal is the 30. If I can go past that, I would love that so much. And I would also love if you wrote down in the comments some suggestions for me, whether it's biographies, historical figures, nice romances, coming of age books. I would very much appreciate it. And I'll see and talk to you guys in the next video. If you guys want to follow me on all of my other social medias, those are linked down below as always. And I'll see and talk to you in the next video. Bye!